So, guys, apparently we got some news on Space Command today. So definitely want to check that out. Let's go ahead and get started.
Well, thank you very much. It's a very important day and an important announcement with great friends of mine. I think I can say this group is every one of them. I rate a 10. I can't always say that, even if they're Republicans, and these are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement. 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it, Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions, because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job. And Secretary of the Air Force Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. This is such a big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senators Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was
Yo,
100.
it's good. Oh, Manel, the first
Well,
comment of
and
the
she was very
stream. Would you
proud
look
of
at
you.
that?
Very, very proud of you.
Would you
So
look at
thank you,
that?
Katie.
Welcome in.
She must
Glad
have
to
been to
have you.
produce you indirectly. I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach, and I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that out.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy, Auburn won, that's right. They did. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Where's Mike? Mike, thank you very much. Doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force, so important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia, and now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections.
Automatically crooked
When
elections.
the state is for mail-in voting. That means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Space Com will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it. And
Yep,
that'll
still
be
waiting to
great.
see about the
But
Golden
Canada
Dome.
wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I
Oh, a
hope.
Megadome
It will also
covers
ensure
us
that
and
our
Canada.
technological
Whoa.
capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else. There's nobody close. Remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would
Yeah,
call
what's
me
good?
and
Welcome
lobby
in.
me. I said,
If you're just now
JD,
making it
I don't
in,
want to talk to you anymore. I know.
we're firing
I know
up.
what you
Let's try to
want."
understand the
She
word
said,
vomit
"That's
together.
right, sir. That's what I want." And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Pete's turn.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DoD Inspector General,
Has Trump
the
made your
Government Affairs
coocher?
Office, they did their own assessments.
It's a crazy
and where
comment.
did they say SpaceCom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President,
Ugh,
we are
what a
grateful
gross
for
mic
your
sound.
leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put
I
the
got a buddy
safety
from
and
Huntsville.
security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our war fighter is put first. And we want to
Space
make sure
not
that America
important? Are you
continues to lead.
crazy?
And today, Mr. President,
Space
you've
so
allowed that to
important.
happen. Thank you.
Space is what's next after Earth go bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Space
President.
is so
This
important.
is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama.
Oh, he's from Alabama.
We need help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary has said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now, this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal. We have 40,000 people there. We have the FBI there. We have missile defense there. We have
Dang.
NASA, Blue Origin, and
So making sure we know it's
SpaceX.
locked down.
It is the perfect place for Space Command. I would tell you today, and I've spoke with the President for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place
Is
for Space
Alabama.
Command is Huntsville, Alabama.
That's
because
crazy,
what
isn't
we
it?
have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this, and we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
Chat, be real. Like, be real with yourself, bro. If you got the choice to not die on this planet, like if Elon came to your household right now and was like, yo, you and your whole fam and like 2 or 3 friends or something that you're choosing can all go to Mars right now and just live the rest of your life there. Everybody put yes or no in chat. What are you picking? Like, be real. Come on.
JD, would you like to say something?
Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama, but as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force, and I think an equally visionary move to make sure that Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
I'm seeing a lot of no's. I'm seeing some Mars options. Mars don't have internet? Shit, you're right. Damn, he's on to something. Wait, if Elon takes us, we'll have internet, bro. Elon's going to get internet on Mars.
Security. The president said,
Come on.
when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security.
We've been
You think of the
claiming a
21
meteor's coming
categories that were
forever.
evaluated to determine what was best for national security. All indicators pointed back to Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time.
Send JD to
Mr. President,
space.
on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional
Yo,
District
S.
and
Birdie,
all
thank you
of
for the
Alabama,
sub on
thank
YouTube.
you
Welcome
for,
in.
keeping your word. Absolutely.
Let me just say, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. And thank you for doing this because it was the right thing to do. When they looked at all the numbers, Huntsville was the place to go. And like you say, it was unfortunate.
This guy's got the
pulled
coolest
out, but
fit.
You made it right.
Best
So
suit in the building.
I want to just say thank you again for a grateful nation and to the state of Alabama. We're very grateful.
pale
Thank
white.
you and God bless.
What do you call that? Manila? Is that a Manila suit? Is that the shade?
Thank you, Mr. President. Throughout history, militaries has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage. Space is the ultimate high ground. And what we're doing with moving the Space Command to Huntsville is absolutely critical to our maintaining dominance in that sphere. And it goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the Golden Dome and missile defense to defend against anyone else who tries to enter that sphere. So thank you, Mr. President.
Please.
Everybody in the
Thank you, Mr.
world going to
President.
say
And
something
obviously,
before the president
national
come
defense
back.
is a huge issue, and when you look at the scores, Alabama was #1, and for political reasons, it was moved out of our state. But, Mr. President, thank you for making
Roll
priorities the defense
Tide.
and the warfighter and the safety.
Roll
of this
Tide's
nation.
going to
And
space.
the big, beautiful bill, that Golden Dome, will be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Listen, as chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security. And the president held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command. If y'all remember, at the end of that competition, where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns. Alabama came in first.
We only
in that
voted the
second
South because we know the South's going to
the
protect it.
Secretary of the Air Force reviewed the results.
they send an
said it was
EMP,
fair, and the president
South's
named
going to bring out the
Huntsville.
guns.
It was the Biden administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I
Yo,
appreciate
Anderson,
this
thank you for the
president
sub on YouTube,
standing
my
up
man.
and being
Welcome
strong
in.
and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs, and that's Huntsville,
I
Alabama.
guess I got that sound off, the alert off. Keep it off for today.
So
I'll just
thank
shout you guys
all very
out.
much. You are going to leave me alone now. You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject, right? You promise? They'll start something else.
That's so
But, I
funny.
just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela.
We've been saying that a long time,
and
too.
coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela.
We Southerners don't play around with people.
We took it out.
Yeah,
and
nah, we're
you'll
going to
get
protect
see
that dome.
after this.
And drink some
after
sweet
this
tea.
Meeting is over. Do you have any questions, please? Yeah, please.
Senator Cumberville talked about the cost savings
Yeah.
associated with this.
What's good? Everybody just now popping in.
Can you talk about the
Got some
strategic benefits
Alabamians
by having
Alabamians
Space Force
are going to
Command
space.
headquartered in Huntsville?
That's what's happening.
Well, it just works because we have so much else there. And having a central, you could call it a central command, but it really is a command station. Also, even locationally, where it is, and when you think about flying distances, if you can save a half an hour as fast as some of these planes go and things go, and even the rockets go, if you can save by having the best location. So we went out, as you know, to experts, and we had 4 different groups of experts. They all said this was the best location. I also loved it from the standpoint, I know the people of Alabama, they are great people, work hard, and there's no games, and they're very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else also. A lot of states, 5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And I kid you not.
We
when
in
I say
Canada
that these
don't give a
people,
fuck about this dude.
They spoke to me a lot.
Queen
That's all
Jerline
they
speaking
wanted
for
to talk
Canada.
about. They didn't want to talk
That's so
about
funny.
the weather. They only wanted to
He
talk
just got
about
done saying Canada wants the
moving
dome
to
too,
this
though.
location,
Don't you guys want the
moving to
dome?
Alabama, Huntsville in particular. So we're honored to do it. They really wanted it badly, and they got it. Peter?
Heard Sweet Tea, I'm on the right chat. We're in the south. We're on the
But,
south
big
side.
viral social media
Put
trend over the
Alabama on
weekend.
Mars.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead?
What?
You see that?
My chat just said
For
that.
a couple days, 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard it's
Yo, my
crazy,
chat.
but last week I did.
Chat, what,
numerous
was that
news
real?
Conferences, all successful. They went very well.
They
Like
said
this
he
is
was
going
dead?
Very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said there must be something wrong with him.
No news
Biden
press for
wouldn't
2
do it
days.
For months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous
Yo, Ruben,
shows,
thank you for the
and,
sub on
also
YouTube.
did
Welcome in.
a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own, pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake. That's why the
I don't know
media
how
has so little.
it's a body double. This
credibility.
is doppelganger.
I
They
knew
replaced the
were
clone
saying,
already.
Like, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know. It's Labor Day weekend, so I would say a lot of people know. I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent. Go ahead, Peter.
Something else. We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said
Wow,
that
yeah.
you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider
To schools?
sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with
That's
school shooting, but
I don't
we
know.
also have thousands and thousands of schools that run
so many schools.
perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're
Yo,
looking for
at
keys all
John
over the
Fu,
place,
thank you
and
for the
it takes
sub on
a-
YouTube.
a
And
lot
Corey,
of-
thank you for
lot
the
of
sub on YouTube.
disadvantages
Welcome
to
in.
Doing, you know, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're
I
dealing
mean,
with.
that makes
But
sense, but like give a master key to
I
all
don't
the
think
police
so.
departments
You
in
know,
the cities.
I've thrown out the concept. We have
that
great
use those
teachers
doors.
that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. It'd have to be studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, and you know. But I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have. There's something going on. And it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin in the
Yeah,
past
I
week?
don't want to. I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
Put a W in the chat right now if you're 420'd and you're still keeping up with the word vomit.
And what could those consequences
We're going to
be?
see what happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week they lost 7,000 between the two countries. 7,313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact, for no reason whatsoever. And the
Yeah,
Russian and the
that guy
Ukrainian,
that's looking over his
you know,
shoulder does look kind of
soldiers.
crazy, doesn't
I want
it?
to see it end. Yep.
Have you decided your
I just saw y'all's angle. He just looks like he's peeking over.
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look,
He looks so
Chicago's very
crazy.
interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had
M is an
24
upside
people
down
hit
W.
by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, it was
For some reason, it thinks that putting like a dot in the middle with no spaces is posting a link.
And 50 hit with bullets.
You didn't do a
And you
space
have
in
this
between your
governor,
dot.
Get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world.
Dude, he looks like
including
he's
you can
close
go to
enough to sniff
Afghanistan,
Trump.
You can go to places that you would think
Send
of.
Trump to space?
They
That's a
don't even come
good
close
that's a
to
good
this.
one.
Chicago is a hellhole right
He
now.
might go build the first
Baltimore is
empire.
a
There's
hellhole
a lot of
right
money.
now.
A lot of money in space.
Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with. They should have had the water coming down, like I said. You know, we had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to L.A. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, you wouldn't. I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in.
We're going in.
We're going in.
We're going in.
When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the
Robert,
street.
thank you
You're
for the
not
sub
gonna
on
be
YouTube.
shot,
Welcome
Peter.
in.
You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly.
Oh, dude.
And they don't want to talk
bet-
about it. Maybe you.
I bet
were very
20%
brave in
of my
talking about
chat's
it. You
been
made
mugged
quite an
before.
impression on a lot of people. I appreciate
That needs
it.
to be the poll right
But
now.
there were other people in this room. that
Everybody
got
put an
hit
X in
and
chat
hurt
if you've
very
been
badly
mugged
just
before.
walking down the street in D.C. Washington,
And you don't live in
D.C.
Washington, D.C.
is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city.
Can we get
this
a
city
safe
was
country?
Really bad. Really, really bad.
How do we do
took
that?
1,600 people out.
What's good, everyone just now
Hardcore
hopping in?
criminals that will not be coming
Put an
back
X in chat if you've ever been
anytime
mugged.
soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to
A lot of
have our
X's right
nation's
off the rip.
capital lose every week. You know, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many consecutive weeks.
Something about
This
sending
went on for
Alabama to
years.
space if you're just now getting
And then
in.
we had last week. It was announced that nobody was killed last week, and I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country, and I'm saying
A lot of X's. I don't know, Trump. We got to clean up.
Nobody was killed in Washington D.C.
Chat says we got to clean up. King Aaron, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome in.
What's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem.
Robbed in
And
Chicago.
we don't have a
You're
crime
next.
problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, exact, really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people.
Shot.
Most of them were African American, who were black. And they were saying,
Why you
please,
say it like that?
please let the president send it. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor
We were
Illinois would
afraid.
call up,
We were
call me up.
petrified.
I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well,
Everybody
Baltimore's a
double
very
tap your
unsafe
screens. Let's get as many people in
place.
here to
It's
hear
rated
this as
number
we
4 in
can.
the city, one of the worst, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world.
I got mugged while
But,
my
you know,
mugger
we
got
took care-
mugged.
This was a beautiful
Is that
thing
possible?
happened in Washington because we showed.
You just
we
walk out
showed
as
that it could
homies
be
after
done.
that? Yo,
And this
Mark,
wasn't
thank you for the
just any
sub.
Big strong guys.
Welcome
and they
in.
Are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit
Not a
for
lot of
a
Aussie
soldier or
crime.
for a
Might be a good
policeman
place
is
to live.
strong, physically fit, something, you know, having a certain ability. Not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with, there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them,
What
they're
a
not going to do a thing.
what a
And
statement,
so
bro.
I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template.
Oh, he means like
And we're gonna do
impressive,
it
like
elsewhere,
scary.
but, Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor.
How many people in this chat right now
Illinois,
live in
be honored
Chicago?
To take his call.
We got
All
any
he has to do is
Chicagoans
say,
in here? I saw one
"Sir,
earlier.
We need help. It's out of control." And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone.
Come on, you guys had
I
Eminem. It
would
should be
love to
great after
have,
that.
I would say Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. He's a hardcore.
He said the
criminals. You know,
lip
we
lick
took
after that was
many
wild.
people off the
Yo,
streets of
Jason
Washington,
and
D.C.
Eileen, thank you for the
They're
subs on YouTube.
hardcore.
Welcome in.
They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They're going to be. They were born to be criminals. Frankly, they were born to be criminals, and they're tough.
Yeah, I
and
live in
mean,
Detroit.
And they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not.
Hey,
gonna
where
have
am
those
I?
people. Washington D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place, and you can walk, Katie. You can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person.
He's a big
Big
person.
doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am, please.
I'm going to come.
Yo, Lisa. Lisa B coming in with a $2 bomb. You're the top dono of the stream so far. Appreciate you, Lisa. Appreciate you. I hope you're rested under the golden dome when things go bad.
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have
Stay
taken
strong,
the thing
Lisa.
well, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like we cleaned up Los Angeles. We
You
did
didn't put a
great job.
message. You could have TTS'd.
And
She
it
had
was
nothing to say.
Overwhelming what was going on.
Susan,
And
thank you for
again,
the sub on
police chief
YouTube. Welcome
Made
in.
a statement that we could not have done. There's no way they could handle. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a
Everybody
disaster.
W
We
Lisa
stopped
in
it
chat.
cold. If we didn't do that, would have been a very sad day. And you know, remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250, all of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing a great. He's not. We're the ones that.
Trump,
did it,
why does
and
Trump
that's
always
okay,
seem like
whatever
he's
it
trying to
takes.
do an
The main thing is
impersonation
good.
of someone
But
else?
he got up and said, "We did it."
But in the
Well,
Trump
he didn't want us
impersonation.
there. And he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. You know, we have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it.
The
And
way
if
he
you
said
don't maintain
airplane
it,
killed
the
me.
plane becomes
Airplane.
very unsafe very quickly. So it's an honor to do it. It's a lot of presidents wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't need this heat, but when I watched television last night and I'm watching the news and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago and 54 were badly wounded with bullets.
With
I
bullets,
say,
give me
that's not
give me
respect. You
Memphis'
have to do
stats.
something.
Bro,
And I do say
give
this, I
me
say this
Memphis'
very much. I'm not
stats.
speaking to anybody but
I
them right
bet you
now.
we rival
I would
that.
love to receive calls from
I don't even live in
governors and
Memphis. I
mayors
live close to
saying
Memphis,
they need
and I
help.
know
We'll
it's
help
bad.
them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military
They don't
force.
even-
You
the
know,
police are scared to be in
people
Memphis.
Tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think You know, probably got me a couple of votes. But you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job. Never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below what we wanted. Every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is. You'll explain that to me. But the closest was the Marines. But every service was way down, way down. And then I got elected, and our country's the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Everybody's talking about the USA. They're talking about the job that we're doing.
I mean, it's not always the best reason.
Very, very important decision being made by the Supreme Court because our country is the richest, the strongest, the most powerful. But if for some reason some liberal court,
we're the biggest, we're the best.
Ruled, where even an Obama judge,
we wish we created anime because then we'd have everything.
Yesterday, as you know, I said that took great courage, but it's a liberal court, and it's going up to the Supreme Court, who I think have been incredible people. I think they've made very wise decisions. But the tariff question, because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investment is coming in. Most of it is coming because of tariffs. And if for some reason
but we got a lot of enemies.
Wanted to be politically correct, I actually think it's unpolitically correct. I think politically correct is to approve it.
Weren't we trillions in debt? How are we making money now? Shouldn't that just go right back towards our debt? How does this work?
But we had a liberal court
We're
gave
still
us
in
a
debt.
very shocking ruling, and that ruling is basically saying that the trillions of dollars that are pouring into our country, putting us in a position like no country is anywhere in the world.
Best position, though.
That they'd like to see us that taken away. By the way, a lot of the people behind that lawsuit, that particular, are from foreign countries. I might add.
There's a video that is circulating.
Oh, this shoulder guy is still killing me.
Where a window is open to the residents upstairs, and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen
What?
that?
No, that's probably AI generated.
So,
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So that's a fake video.
Well, it's got to be because I know every window up there. The last place
I've tried every window.
Because there's cameras all
I can't ever get away from my wife.
No, but every window.
Every window is sealed
I've
shut.
never seen a window that's.
Can't even smoke them
more,
bro.
Complaining about it the other day. She said, "Love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof." And number one, they're sealed, and number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds.
Yo,
You have to be pretty
Zabila,
strong to open them up.
France,
No,
and
it has to
Alfred,
be.
thank you for
Where
the
was
subs on
window? Let me
YouTube.
see.
Welcome in. Show me the window. Yeah, I know that window. That window never opens.
Maybe from the renovations?
Maybe from the renovations?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think. So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows are they're all sealed. You can't.
Yo,
open
what's
them.
good? Ghost, welcome in.
It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with
Oh,
AI
dude. Lisa coming in with another $2 super chat said, I was born at the Great Lakes 61. Chicago's my home.
I'm going to come.
Yeah, I saw it before it
I was
happened.
born at Great Lakes 61. Chicago's my home.
Hey, there we go. How did I, dude? Lisa right here, born and raised.
really bad, just blame
Are you
AI.
glad that Trump's coming in, or are you more worried?
things, you know,
Are you
works both
worried?
ways.
It could turn out like
Something
DC. It could be a
happens
great,
that's really
safe
bad,
city
maybe I'll have to
soon.
just blame AI. But there's
Stay
truth to
safe,
it,
Lisa.
because I
Stay
see so
safe.
many
That's all I
funny
can
things.
say.
I saw something
She's up to
as I
$4
was
super
growing
chat
up
this
from the
stream,
time I
guys.
was
She's
a
holding
baby
hostage this
till now. I
this
said,
top donation spot.
Who did that?
Thank you so much,
Who's
Lisa. Appreciate
AI
you.
generated?
Everybody,
So,
W Lisa in
it's a little
chat.
bit scary, to be honest with you, but those windows are all very heavily sealed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Why don't I follow up with what you were saying regarding that federal appellate court that ruled against you and your administration as it relates to your ability?
Well, they ruled against our country, the court, and they ruled against us before. It's a very liberal court.
Partisan in your
Well, it
social media
certainly
posts.
is. It certainly
and
is.
In fact, it was along ideological lines, 7-4.
Well, except that we actually got one of the Obama judges.
I just learned
was
that I can
appointed
blame
by
AI
President
for almost
Obama,
anything.
voted in
Yeah, you're
favor
right,
of the
Dutch.
tariffs because
It's
he
AI.
felt it was
AI
imperative
generated.
for our country to thrive
Steve,
and
appreciate the
survive
sub on
even.
YouTube. Welcome in.
And I gave him credit. I said, you know what? That took a lot of courage for him to do it because you don't see that often.
My question is, I imagine, I suspect you're going to appeal that all the way to the Supreme Court?
Well, we already have, yeah. In fact, we're doing something else. We're going to be going to the Supreme Court, we think, tomorrow, because we need an early decision. I mean, look, the financial fabric of our country, we're a rich,
Hair not combed. He's going for a messy look
and
today.
we're able to, you know, other countries use tariffs.
Sammy, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome
we
in.
Never did. I did a lot during my first term, but then we had COVID and we had to focus on other things. You couldn't be tariffing Italy, Spain, France, as they were dying by the thousands and millions. But we did with China.
Patrick says, thanks for the 39% tax of exports. Greetings from Switzerland. It wasn't me, buddy.
But no, it's a very important decision. And
what are you buying American anyway?
frankly,
We should be buying from you guys. That's what I
make
thought.
a wrong decision, it would be a devastation for our country. We've taken in trillions
Now
of
he's claiming
dollars.
AI. Are we really expected to
by the
believe
way,
that?
all these
That's what he
countries
wants
signed
us to
agreements,
believe,
as an
Lisa.
example.
That's what
They
we're
said
inclined to
they're all happy,
believe.
Everybody's happy. But some
There's an AI
whack
generated
job
window.
put in a lawsuit. It went before a very liberal court, and the liberal court ruled, it was 11, they ruled 7-4, with one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give
Yeah, we're to make sure you
credit to
double
that
tap
judge.
your screens
And
right
it's
now.
going
Let's
to
get
the
as
Supreme
many
Court.
people
Now
in
we're
here as
gonna
we
be
can.
asking for
We just hit 100 likes.
early
Appreciate that, my
admittance vote.
homies.
We're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because, you know, when you look at the stock market's down today, the stock market's down because of that. Because
that's
the
good,
stock
Kit Kat.
market needs the tariffs. They want the tariffs.
What's up, brother?
If you look at AI,
The Golden
all of
Cat's
those,
joined us.
You know,
If you
all
double
of that
tap your
money
screen
that's
right
gonna
now,
be
you get good
invested,
luck.
Trillions and trillions of dollars. The biggest thing, bigger than the internet, I suspect. It's the internet plus 3 or 4 other things combined. We are leading very substantially.
It's
with
bigger
AI.
than the internet.
We're
It's
leading
going to
because
put
of
us into
tariffs.
space.
We're leading because of
AI
talent, and this
space.
is where they'd like to be. But without the tariffs, we wouldn't have a chance because we wouldn't be able to protect those investments.
I just
of
checked all my
the companies
windows.
coming in. So, if you took away tariffs, we could end up being a third world country. That's how big the ruling. So we're asking for an expedited ruling.
Put the cat down, son.
Stop to that, President. You have a Republican-controlled Congress. You control the House. You control the Senate.
Yeah, but we don't have 60
Yo,
votes.
Scythe Wing, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome in.
To do that.
Chat, you
If
got to
we
be
had-
quiet.
if
She's
we
trying
had
to take a
60
nap.
senators, if we got to 60 votes, we would get them. But we need 60 votes, and we need, you know, a certain number in the House. We'd get, I think we'd get, I don't know, we have about 5 of them here. Would everybody?
I trust your cat more than Trump.
Without tariffs, we're a different country. We have taken in so much.
I
money,
got
and-
3
and here's the
dogs.
thing.
Well, I got 2 dogs and 1
We
cat.
signed a deal with Japan.
But
They're
3
paying us
dogs here and
hundreds
1
of
cat.
billions of dollars. We signed a deal with South Korea. We signed a deal with the
This is the
European
Queen.
Union. We signed a deal.
He's talking about putting Alabamians in space.
And those countries are paying us $950 billion.
Yo,
and
Kate,
they're
Johnny,
happy,
thank you
they're
for the
okay.
subs on YouTube. Welcome
As
in.
one of them said, it's amazing that we got away with it so long. One of my friends, a leader of one of the countries, and they're fine with it. They all signed. If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds of billions. We would have to give trillions and trillions of dollars back to countries that have been ripping us off for the last 35 years. And I can't imagine.
I'm an animal
it
lover
happening,
too. Hell
on
yeah.
a legal basis,
Bro, animals
they
are
have
the
no
best.
legal basis whatsoever.
They're the best little
But
homies.
on
I got
a
a.
common sense basis, it
My
would
oldest
destroy
dog is
America.
15. I guess she's about to be 16 because I had her since I was 10. I'm 26.
With Ursula? Well, she had an interesting event. She's a tremendous woman.
Oh, sleepy kitty.
And
Why
so
are you
what are you asking
yawning?
me about her? NATO is concerned about it. Well, nobody knows where it came from, but they did take away her ability to use a phone. You know? Sometimes that's
Someone
a
said
good thing.
Darren is bot.
Sometimes that could happen to me. I'd be very happy.
Mr. President, reducing the tariffs on India from 50%.
What does that mean?
Are you considering taking away some of the tariffs that you've imposed on India? You had posted.
No, we get along with India very well. But India has, you have to understand, for many years it was a one-sided relationship. Only now since I came along and because of the power
15
that
is an
we have
awesome
with
dog
tariffs,
life. I
India was
agree.
charging us
She's lived good.
tremendous
She's
tariffs,
ate the
about
best.
the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world.
And
number
she's
one.
still going strong,
And
dude. She's a rat
We,
terrier.
therefore,
Small
weren't doing
dogs live
much business
forever.
with India, but they were doing
I'm gonna give her.
business
She's gonna
with
make
us
it to
because
20.
We weren't charging them foolishly. We weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But
Ow,
we
why are you
would
using your
not
claws?
send in anything
Let's
because
go,
they were
Kashu.
charging us 100% tariffs. And, I'll give you an example, Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson
I'm gonna
couldn't sell
come.
into India. There was a
Yo!
motorcycle.
Allibat 13 with the $1
Davidson
super
went to
bomb,
India and built
taking the second top
motorcycle
dono
plant.
slot of the stream. You
And
guys
now
are
they
going
don't have to
crazy
do the
today. I
same thing as
appreciate
us.
that.
So what we're
Lisa
doing
B
is,
still in the top spot with
literally
$4.
Thousands of companies are coming into
Allie,
the
you the
US,
homie.
car
Everybody W
companies,
Allie in the
AI,
chat. Appreciate
more
that for
traditionally
real.
car companies. We have so many car company factories
Bang,
under
bang.
construction or being designed right now. And they're coming from China, they're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada. A lot of them coming from Canada. But they're coming into our country because they want to build here. And they want to build here for two reasons. Number one, they'd like
Yeah,
to be
guys,
here, and
by the
number
way,
two,
you do have
the
points. You
tariffs
can
are
gamble.
protecting them. And number three,
I give them out
they wanna
occasionally
avoid
throughout
paying
the
tariffs.
stream.
When
You
they
get it for
build their
just staying in the
cars here, they
stream
don't have
and for
any
super
tariffs to
chatting.
pay. When you build
So those
here,
two
you
of you
don't
that
have
just
any
super
tariffs.
chatted this stream, you guys probably got some points. You can exclamation point gamble.
The Department of Homeland Security is now awarding more than $100 million to hundreds of faith organizations across the country to help them ramp up security. What's your vision for further protecting religious liberty across the country amid incidents of threats and
So
violence?
religious liberty is so important, and we're talking about every religion now, and we're doing things on that nobody else has ever done, and we're going to be having a big announcement in about 2 weeks on that question. Yeah, please.
On Space Command, sir, are you concerned that people may not be willing
Well,
to
here's that
relocate
some
from
Space Cadet.
Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried.
They're
It'll
in my
get somebody
habitat.
else. I mean, the problem with Colorado is they have a very corrupt voting system.
Yeah, but they
look, I have
legalized
so
weed
many friends
first,
in
bro. We got to give Colorado
Anytime
props for
you
that.
have
Like,
mail-in voting, you have corrupt elections. Very simple.
dude.
It's very simple. Even Jimmy Carter said it with his commission. They set up a commission.
Peace out,
with
Mr.
him
D.
and
Appreciate you
Steve
for sticking
Jackson
around,
and
my boy.
Some people, highly regarded people. And they said the finding was, if you have mail-in voting, you will have corrupt elections. Well, your radical left governor decided that he was going to have all mail-in voting in Colorado. Once you have all mail-in voting, and for whatever reason, the Democrats cheat. And they cheat like,
Like
they're not
wildfire.
stupid. It's the only thing. They're no good on policy. They're no good on management. They're no good at
Mark,
government,
thank you for the sub on
but they're
YouTube.
great at
Welcome in.
cheating. And they stick together, too. I give them credit for
Safety
sticking
meeting right
together.
now?
Please.
Obviously,
Oh,
this is
bro.
a big win for national security, moving this to Alabama. We've all can agree with that.
If we get this stream to 200 likes, we'll have a safety meeting.
This has on the state and on that local area.
Katie, do you want to answer that?
Look, I mean, this.
Please go.
This is going to be.
You're one of the few
tremendous.
YouTubers to
I mean,
say
the
my
state of
name right.
Alabama,
Thank you.
What we've seen.
I mean, it's
through
like
this
Scyther,
process
right?
Is the worst of Washington. We've seen politics get
Like,
in the way of what is best for the warfighter.
you know what I'm
what's best
saying?
for national security. And the state of
bit
Alabama
of
is
Scyther.
about to show the country the best among us.
Liberal
So
Green
we
here,
know the
never
economic
registered to
impact
a
is gonna be
vote. Not a fan of
tremendous there.
Trump, but I hope his
Redstone
experiences
Arsenal,
with
we're
finances will
proud
help our
to
economy. What's your thoughts?
everything from
So I do agree with that. Like I say every time, there's some things that I like about Trump and some things I don't like about Trump. I like his background. I do like his experience in the not just in politics. Like he wasn't just born into politics and learned how to be a politician and try to lead a country like that. Like he experienced more like economical, more like how the world worked, and then kind of led into like politician things. There's some things I do like. So yes, for your question, I think his experience in finances helped him. But yeah, I'm like you. I'm kind of like 50-50. I did not vote in this last election. You back already, bro? What's up?
FBI to headquarters there for material command to a
I don't
number
know, dude.
of
All
things.
our
We obviously have
presidents are
NASA
old.
With Marshall Space Flight Center, and so this naturally fits within. When you look at the decision matrix that they placed in front of us, that's why we ranked so high, is because we have the resources necessary and the ability to build out quickly to meet the needs in front of us. As far as economic impact, it would be tremendous. Does anybody have an exact number? 1,600 jobs. With 3,000 spinoff. Look at this. This is teamwork right here.
Our economy's in a steady
so
decline.
We are really proud, and the people of Alabama are ready to get to work.
Don't even make me ask about the price of eggs in this chat.
Please.
Owning a home.
Owning a home. Let's talk about that.
For a lot of Americans
Yeah.
recently you pushed out a statement
That's a toughie.
about addressing an emergency housing situation.
That's right, we're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, can you just?
Well, we need a little help from the Fed.
We got
have,
15 minutes left on our
a man
update
named
hour. Again,
Jerome
huge shout out to
Too Late
Ali
Powell.
Bat
You
and
probably
Lisa.
heard of
So
him.
far, the
It's too
top
late.
two donos
Way
on the
too late.
stream. Everybody double tap your
The
screens. Let's get
economy
some
is
more
so
people in
strong
here to
that it's
finish out
pushing
strong.
Through that. Normally, it would have been much tougher, but we're doing so well. That
Yeah,
we're
that's what I
pushing
thought,
through it.
Syfe.
But it makes it very hard for people to get mortgages because too late is too late. Very simple. He's too late. And probably political, whatever. He wasn't too late before the election. Before the election, he was cutting
Damn,
rates,
bro,
right?
you come up out of
Because he was
nowhere.
hoping that, I guess, Biden
What's
would
good,
get
little
in,
homie?
that Kamala
Yeah,
would-
just sit
he
on
was a
my
big
armrest,
Biden
please.
guy. Explain that one. And then he was a Kamala person, but he was hoping, I guess, she'd win, I guess.
Nope, nope,
I
nope,
don't
nope,
know. It
nope,
didn't work
nope,
out
nope,
too
nope,
well.
nope, nope, nope.
But
Lonnie
yeah,
and
we need a very
Cosme, thank you for the
serious
subs on
cut.
YouTube.
You know,
Pet the
I
cat.
think that
Welcome
if you
in.
look back many decades ago, the United States was always the lowest, even if they were doing badly. The United States was, because without the United States, everything in the world would die. It's true. It's so powerful. It's so big, and I made it really big in the first 4 years. Then it started to degenerate with what this Biden administration did. But we built it up to a level that I never thought we could be at this quickly. With the hottest.
Your
with
kitty
the
wants
best, with
pets.
the
She's
best
gonna jump up
financially,
here
the money coming in
100,000
is so big
times. She knows
because
I'm
of tariffs
streaming.
and other things, but
She
because of
loves
that,
when I'm streaming.
tariff gets us even those other things.
I
Plus,
give
it
her
gets
pets
us
every
great
time, don't
negotiating.
worry.
I settled 7 wars, and numerous of those wars were because of trade, and numerous of the trade deals that I made were because of tariffs. It gives you a great negotiating ability. If that ability were taken away from us by a liberal court acting on essentially foreign nations asking to get help from the United States government, when they've been doing this to us for 40 years, that's why we have $38 trillion in debt. We won't have it for long if they let us, if they allow us to do what everybody knows we should be able to do. Yeah, please.
Bro, his teeth are so white. Bro uses like a Invisalign or something. I'm a cat mama. Dude. We have a lot of outside cats that we feed too. There's a bunch of them. Being American is hard right now. It
Well,
is.
we want to see beautiful buildings. Now, you know, it's in the.
We did lose
eye
a lot of
the
small
beholder.
businesses
I've
during
seen
COVID. That
architectural
sucked.
Reviews over the years.
Lost a
I'm
lot
an
of
expert
locally.
at it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews, but I've seen buildings that I didn't think were very good get great reviews, and I've seen great buildings get bad reviews. So, but it's just a standard. We want to have a good standard. We're building something
5
here,
kitties
you know,
and
for
2
150
doggos.
years they wanted a ballroom at the
I wish
White House.
everyone
We're
in my
doing
chat
something
could
at the
post a
highest
picture of their
level, using
animals in
great
chat right now.
architects and all.
YouTube needs to get on their
And,
game.
it's very
If you
exciting.
guys could post
But
pictures,
we have a lot of interesting
I'd
things
love it, bro.
happening
See all
architecturally
your
in
pets.
D.C. And D.C. is like a
Keep
different
adopting
place.
outside
And, you know,
animals,
even
that's
the
how it works.
contractor said, "Sir, we walk down today, we feel like much safer. It's like a different place." Washington,
I've
D.C.
fostered
is
over
great.
30
now, we're gonna
kittens.
also beautify it.
It's a kitten
We're gonna
paradise.
Put a topping on the roads. We're not going to rip them apart and take 4 years to build a road that was exactly the same by the time you build it. But we're going to put toppings. We're going to put new medians
I got a feeling
in.
mine's
We're
gonna
get
show
the
up again here
graffiti off.
soon.
We're going to put tiles
Probably
up
just
in the
jump up
tunnels
here.
where the tiles are missing. But we'll do the whole tunnel instead of, you know, a little area where you see new tiles, old tiles that never look too good, but they could use it. You know, they've been up 50 years. They've served their duty. But we're going to make this within about a 20-mile radius from the White House. We're going to have this place spick and span. It's going to be crime-free, and it's going to be spick and span. It's
I
gonna
think
be-
the
you'll be
stimulus
proud
checks
of
were
Washington again.
helpful
Go ahead, please.
during COVID,
China's having a massive military parade that President Putin and Kim
but
Jong-un
perhaps
will be
maybe
attending.
not
Do you interpret that as
the
a
ease of
challenge
access to
you? I know you're concerned at
unemployment.
all about those countries.
No.
Maybe more stimulus checks
No,
and less
China needs
unemployment.
us.
That would have
I
had
a very
more
good
people work.
relationship with President Xi, as you know. But China
Stimulus
needs
checks
us
plus high
much more than we need them.
like easy unemployment
No, I don't
access
see that at all. No.
was insane. Nobody
I had
worked.
actually a very good meeting with President Putin a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if anything comes out of it. If it doesn't, we'll take a different stance.
They do one or the other, probably.
That your deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles was illegal.
I have 8 and they all show up at 5 p.m. Damn, I want to see Chat's Cats. Eganman, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome in.
That question or statement.
Eigenman Zone.
Statement, I think.
Well, I was asking for your response.
No, you didn't say what the judge said, though. The judge said,
I am
but you
live.
can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can continue to be in place. That's all we need. But why didn't you put that as part of your statement? Because the same judge ruled exactly as you said.
Wow, women
except
were expected to cook,
the
clean
judge
laundry,
said that
kids'
you could
husband,
leave the
party the bills,
300
do the
people that
shopping.
you already
We
have
can't
in
handle a
place.
country.
They can stay, they can remain.
We'll
they
have
can
one
do what they have to
eventually.
do. Thank
We'll
you
definitely
very
have a
much,
woman president
everybody.
eventually.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, that was the space meet. I do have one more thing for us to check out together before we end off. This one is this.
Let's get right to our breaking news. A major court loss for the Trump
This
administration.
was what the court was voting on.
A federal judge says President Trump's use of the National Guard in Los Angeles was illegal. The judge ruling the deployment violates the Posse Comitatus Act, and he warns President Trump's calls to send troops into other American cities would amount to a national police force with the president as its chief. Before this ruling, Trump teased that Chicago is next on his list for troops. The administration is already planning to surge federal resources for immigration arrests there. Chicago's mayor has taken preemptive steps to try and rein in any federal action President Trump takes. For more on all of this, we are joined by NBC Senior Homeland Security Correspondent Julia Ainsley and
is he
immigration
still sending
attorney
the
Alan
guard
Orr.
to
So Julia,
Chicago
what else are
or
we hearing
what?
from this judge? How big of a deal is this ruling?
Well, it's a big ruling when you think about how Trump wants to use the National Guard next. He's already toyed with the idea of possibly sending them to Chicago, something that leaders in that state of Illinois have pushed back on, as well as the mayor of Chicago. And this is also something that we've seen in D.C., although he did have more authority. He has authority over the D.C. National Guard because of its position as the capital city. But since Trump started deploying the National Guard in L.A., which he said was to quell unrest after protests there that started because of ICE arrest, there's been a question about
so
whether
many.
or not the
There's L.A., there's D.C., there's Chicago, Memphis.
Governor Gavin Newsom said he did
I mean, you
not,
can't just.
and whether or not how long he can keep them there.
That is kind of their job, though,
kind
is
of duties they
within
can be
the nation,
performing.
but
It's against this law known as Posse Comitatus,
not to
a
like fight their
late,
own people.
1800s law that
You know what I
said
mean?
that the military cannot be used to enforce domestic law. It's the same reason why
Yeah,
military
not domestic
can't
law.
be arresting immigrants when they cross the border. That would be enforcing a domestic law within the borders of the United States. And so in this case, this judge is saying that this was a violation to send National Guard to California.
Okay,
And
so
now
that's
that
what
will be
the ruling was
a
on.
big question going forward for the Trump administration. Do they continue to push? We've seen them push back court orders in the past. They will likely appeal this. And will they then decide that there is some other justification for sending National Guard to Chicago? One last thing, Anna, what was already so unusual about the idea of sending the National Guard to Chicago is they said they were doing it to crack down on crime there. That's really going a step further than what they did in Los Angeles, where they said it was to respond to unrest. The National Guard has been used in the past to respond to unrest. Sometimes that didn't go very well, like in the 70s during Vietnam protests, but it has been used in that way. And Chicago, to call them in preemptively, already raised legal questions. So after a judge is saying they weren't used correctly in California, it's unclear how the White House might pivot or if they'll change their course with the actions they have planned for Chicago.
Well, let's get that answer, if we can, from NBC News senior White House
There's a lot of
correspondent
people
Jake
in
Gutierrez,
this-
who is
in this
joining
call.
us as well. What is the reaction
Let me
there, Gabe,
rotate
from the
us to
White
who's
House to
speaking.
this judge's ruling? And does it force them to change their approach to Chicago and other cities?
Well, hi there, Anna. Good morning. Well, we are still waiting that reaction from the White House. They are certainly digesting this ruling at this point. So we do not have that immediate reaction just yet, but it is unlikely.
Highest
that
crime
the
rates in the red
administration
states?
will
I
back
could believe
down
it.
on some of these other
I'd have to
plans. They
fact
been
check it, but I could
talking
believe
about
it.
Sending federal resources to other cities, as you've been pointing out, including Chicago.
It's where the
Baltimore,
guns are.
New York City. And the president this morning even doubling down on his plans for Chicago, saying on social media that he will clean up that city if he has to. Now, the question is, Anna, how exactly will local officials continue to respond? Over the weekend, you had Chicago's Democratic Mayor Brandon Johnson signing that executive order prohibiting local resources, local police from collaborating with federal law enforcement and federal immigration officials. Now, this afternoon, we're expecting a news conference from Governor J.B. Pritzker to talk more about what might come next from his end. Right now, we do not have a timetable on when the White House may deploy additional federal resources to Chicago, but it does appear to be imminent. Over the weekend, Chicago's mayor said that he believed it would be days, not weeks.
I'm going to come.
The Trump
Oh my God, Allie.
There. And
Allie back coming in
understand
with another $2 super chat for the stream, putting her at three. Yeah, 3. She actually just shy of Lisa. So Lisa's still in that top dono spot for 4, and Allie has now stepped up to number 3. Again, you could have put a message there, Allie. You could have said something. Did you not want to say nothing?
Naval base just outside
Everybody,
of
W Allie in
Chicago
chat. Thank you for that
would
super
be
chat. We
used
appreciate
for
that.
logistical support. But again, it
The
is unclear
homie.
with this breaking news of this court ruling in Los Angeles how it will impact these plans. That's certainly a question we'll be asking the White House throughout the day on.
So, Alan, how
Y'all carrying the
significant
stream
is
today
this
for
ruling from
real.
the judge in your perspective, and what happens if the administration doesn't follow it?
I think it's very significant, and it's not just California, because it also has been resounded in D.C. about the use of these troops with regards to local laws. So it isn't so much that the president was pushed back, but that the Constitution and the way our government has always run is being upheld. And it's very significant. So the Trump administration may push, and of course, it doesn't fix the harm that has already been done by the troops or all the illegal actions that have taken place. So we're not exactly making California whole. We're just stopping a process that's in the middle of it. And the administration is likely to push back. But it's a very expensive pushback in this case because Chicago is 3 times bigger than D.C. And he really has not really addressed all the crime in D.C., just some of the wards in D.C., not the whole area. And L.A., as we've already seen on this network, is only a couple of streets, not really the main of all of L.A. So this concept that the National Guard is going to be a subplant for police forces in local government is not a positive result for us. It's costly. The National Guard is away from
now
their jobs,
I want
which
to
is
know what
costing our
AWAC
company's
said.
money and our readiness for
Can't even
military
find it.
readiness, and it's also just not a good look.
Focus
well,
on
and of course, in
immigration.
D.C., it's a little bit different because the
economic
president
stance.
has some authority over the National Guard there. We're not talking
Yeah.
about a more sovereign state or a city within a different state like we're seeing
Especially
with LA,
post-COVID.
in California or Chicago and Illinois. Julia, do we have any sense of a timeline for Chicago? Could this ruling hold
Yes,
that
sir, Mark. You
operation
know
up
the
when we're
message.
talking
W.
about
Alley.
moving in the immigration crackdown that
Hey,
you
throw some W's in there for
mentioned?
Lisa, too. Lisa's still in that top dono spot for the stream. We got 3 minutes left on our update hour, guys. Double tap those screens.
North of the city is a staging area where we understand that some federal agents from ICE, Border Patrol, and DOJ components like ATF and DEA can sleep as they're surged into this city. We know at least 200 agents have already been tapped to go, and we expect more. Now, National Guard was supposed to support that mission, as well as an overall crackdown on crime in Chicago. So the crime
Check out that dude's
operation
Adidas bag.
could be put on
I think
hold.
I got
We'll
one
have to
just
wait
like
and
that.
see what Gabe gets and what the White House says about this ruling. But as far as immigration, they can continue to surge the resources of federal agents there and do more arrests and even try to go into areas where they may have targets for the worst of the worst, or do things like what we saw Border Patrol do in Los Angeles, where they were doing sweeps of Home Depot parking lots, even though that was also ruled illegal by a judge. They still went through
That was crazy.
and continued to do that, even coming out of a
And it worked.
rental truck in a Home Depot parking lot after that ruling. So I don't know that this will do much of a dent in terms of the immigration
They're gonna
operation
stop going to Home
there.
Depot,
Certainly
bro.
the optics
Whoops.
may be changed if they don't have National Guard there to support those missions. But as far as I'm hearing so far, DHS is still pushing lots of resources into Chicago to arrest immigrants there.
And Alan, as Gabe mentioned just a few minutes ago, Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson signed an executive order directing the city to use every legal mechanism to combat Trump's actions, and that includes demanding federal officers follow city regulations like using body cameras, banning the use of masks by officers, barring city officers from collaborating with military or on immigration enforcement, and directing city agencies to submit Freedom of Information Act requests. Do you see?
I don't know if I agree with the mask thing. Is because, like, dude, on the National Guard's part, on the police force, I mean, maybe, but on the National Guard's part, bro, like, they could, if he gives an order for them to go be somewhere or do something, they could be AWOL if they don't do it and literally go to jail. So, like, they're almost being forced to do whatever is being said while they're there. So, like, I don't think that their families and stuff should be threatened and harassed as well. You know what I mean?
This
That's the only good
what
that
the
comes out of them not
administration
wearing a
can do
mask,
on
is
the
people can
ground
find them and their
compared to
families.
Surges in other cities.
But I don't know.
Absolutely not, because it's actually two different forms of federalism. It's the separation of federal and state powers. And we've already
Two
seen
wrongs
this
don't make a
operating
right.
in California. But we should also realize that you can't deport your way out of this immigration system problem that we have. We're just treating the symptoms. We're not really addressing the problems. So what if this administration deports 1 million people and they say there's 11 million people here, and they do one every year, so that's 4 million people out of the rest that remain? That doesn't solve the immigration fix. Congress, which is back in session today, could fix this problem. And when immigration enforcement is just about numbers, we see this problem. And the expense of this, we're seeing it in our colleges right now with foreign students not coming back. We're seeing it in tourism, where people aren't coming to this country to spend their money and the dollars anymore. And we're also seeing the National Guard in D.C. pick up trash and do lawn work. That's very expensive cost to the taxpayer. And it isn't the Trump's money that's spending, it's the taxpayers' money from these different states that's being wasted and costing us so much money. Even with the removal of 1.5 million people who said they voluntarily left, it's crippling our economy. So we really need to address the system through immigration reform and not remove the 60 to 70% of the people whose only problem is being here undocumented. If we want to talk about illegal actions, if the Trump administration does something against the court, that's an illegal action. So if we want to do things the legal way, let's be legal on all counts.
Okay, so yeah, that's gonna end us off for our update hour today, guys. I do have a couple announcements to make, but one more time, let's do a huge shout out for Allie and for Lisa, our two top donors for the stream. Appreciate you guys. You guys carried today. Chat went absolutely stupid. I appreciate the 150 likes. You guys went crazy. Guys, I don't know if you saw the post on my channel this morning. We're celebrating the upcoming start of fall. For the next 7 days, you're going to get a video, a short, a live from me. It's going to be good. We got big events coming. We got some big videos planned, so make sure you sub up. And I'm going to check you guys out on the next one. I love you guys, man. Peace. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. W Lisa, W Allie. Hope I see you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.